that they all count the same. So you better show up ready to go in the midweek games, on the weekends. They're all important towards building that resume. And our guys did an unbelievable job of staying focused and having that sense of awareness, that sense of urgency. Midweek game, non-conference, conference, whatever the case may be, our guys did a good job of being consistent with their mindset.
How big is the exposure that the program is receiving right now and earning a national seed towards recruiting?
It's really big. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of kids right now that want to come to Clemson, and we're using it to our full advantage. And recruiting's going exceptionally well, I believe, and will continue to go well based on what this team has accomplished this year. So we're very, very happy about that. With all the exposure that we're getting, it's definitely helping us in recruiting.
I heard you describe yourself as a player. How would you describe yourself and your coaching style?
I'm older and wiser, I guess, as a coach than I was as a player. As a young coach, I was a lot like I was as a player.
Did you see it tossed?
Huh?
Did you ever get tossed from games?
Oh, yeah. I've been tossed. I mean, you can YouTube it. So I've made some mistakes. Yeah, I mean, we've all made mistakes. And, more times than not, when I get angry, it's a mistake. And again, as you get older, you learn from your mistakes. But more times than not, when I lose my cool, it winds up hurting us. So I try my best not to do it. If I start to get frustrated and start to feel that blood boil a little bit, then I have to take a deep breath and realize that, hey, I've got to keep my cool because these guys in here are relying on me to be relaxed and confident in pressure situations. And it's hard to do sometimes. I mean, there's times where something happens on the field, and you guys have seen it happen this year, where I could very easily get pretty frustrated based on what's going on the field, but I can't do that because I can't give the perception that I'm frustrated or that I don't have confidence in you on the field. I can't do that, and kids are going to look to me and see how I react to situations. So I try my best to stay confident and cool, and I think it helps your ball club in the long run.
Yeah, you think the demeanor has been what's helped a lot, being that you've been kind of even keel, not too high, not too low. That's been the difference in this team this year.
I think so. I mean, when coaches get really aggravated and fired up in the dugout, when something goes wrong, your team gets extremely quiet. I mean, and I've seen that happen in my own dugouts, over the years, where if I get ticked off and throw a clipboard or lose my cool, your team's going to get quiet real quick, and that's only going to hurt your team, because they're afraid to do anything. They don't know how to react once you get angry or you get frustrated. So I think it's a big part of it. I really do. And I didn't often think that. I said, well, if they're scared of me, then they're just not tough enough. And that's the wrong approach as a coach, because kids want to please their coach. And I know I did. I always wanted to please my coach. I wanted to do things right so that he felt like I was doing everything I could to help our team win. So I try to handle tough situations by being cool and calm and collected. And if I have an issue, I much would rather do it one-on-one with the player in privacy, so that I give him that respect. You don't ever want to show a player up on the field. You always want to show him that respect by bringing him in and talking to him one-on-one, so that he can have a say in what's going on, or if there's an issue, and get on the same page. So I just try to treat kids the way I would want to be treated. That's what I try to do.
High is the same way.
What's that?
High is the same way. Like
absolutely. Now, and you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong. You hear coaches act like you've been there before. I think that's kind of silly. I mean, we work so darn hard and spend so much time with these guys and being coaches. I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating with your guys, with your kids. I celebrate a lot. I mean, I do, and the guys will tell you that. I get fired up when they have success. I'm high-fiving and yelling in the dugout, and I get pumped up, right there with them, because I want them to understand that it's okay to celebrate having success. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We're never going to show up an opponent or disrespect a game or anything like that, but there's nothing wrong with a kid, he gets a big strikeout, giving a fist bump, or showing, positive energy on the field when we have success. And I don't think there's anything wrong with coaches doing it either. We work hard to put ourselves in this position, and we should enjoy it.
So where do you stand on bat flipping then?
I'm a little old school, but I do. I'll tell you this: I hit a ball one time in college, and I stood there and watched it. I thought I got it, and the ball hit the top of the wall, and I had to leg it out to get a double. Luckily, it went over the left fielder's head as he was standing up against the wall, and I was able to get a double, and I learned a lesson that don't do that. That's the baseball gods telling you, don't stand there and watch a home run. So I'm a little old school, but I do understand in this day and age that kids are different today, that they do celebrate hitting home runs. You know, I'm not into the Bautista bat flip stuff and all that, the outrageous stuff, but at the end of the day, it's college baseball. You know, and college baseball is not professional baseball. You know, college baseball, they do enjoy it because they're playing for their school. They're playing for their program. So, you know, to me, if, you know, the bat flips and the showing of emotion is part of the game, it's part of the culture of these kids today. So I don't make too much of it, really. You know, I don't want our guys to be excessive. I think in everything you do in baseball, let's keep it in moderation. It's kind of like our hair policy. You know, let's not get it too long, but if you want to grow it out a little bit, I'm okay with it as long as you play the game the right way.
In the vein of handling
Last question, guys.
In the vein of handling emotions, those meetings out in right center. I mean, how have you approached those when you go after a bad loss to Florida State or College of Charleston?
You know, I send my message the way that I think I need to send it, and I think that the guys would agree that even when I have what would be considered a tough message to the team, it's not a negative message. You know, there's things that I'm very passionate about as a coach when it comes to how we play the game and how we compete. But oftentimes when I get frustrated or, you know, I got a message that I want to send after a tough ball game, it's because, you know, we've shown that, you know, we're almost afraid to make mistakes. And I always want to send a message that, guys, even if we're getting beat by, you know, 8 runs, 10 runs, whatever the case may be, never be afraid to fail. You know, continue to compete, play aggressive, and do what you do. And that's really been the message I don't want our guys to be apprehensive or timid when they play the game. I just want them to play the game with reckless abandon and be aggressive.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.